Hi, I'm out in Aubigny, Manitoba. I'm here with Michelle Baril of Red River's Edge Farms. Behind us is one of her asparagus plots. Michelle, you do asparagus here, but you do some other things as well. What do you do here?
We also have maple trees, so that we tap every spring for maple sap that we boil down to make maple syrup. We're on the Red River, so there is an abundant supply of maples in this area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Asparagus being your main crop that you grow here and main thing you do in your farm, but what happened to your farm a little over a week ago here, unfortunately?
Well, we had quite the spring. It was an extremely slow spring, very cool temperatures, so the asparagus was slow growing. But we had a morning of a hard frost, a very hard frost. So that morning we got up. They were forecasting for the area that it was going to hover around the 0 mark, which is okay. Asparagus can tough out 0. But -2 to -3 is a hard pass, is a hard no for asparagus. So we went out to the fields to assess the damage of the frost, and they were basically frozen popsicle sticks.
Oh, wow.
From the ground. They were just completely frozen solid, even into the earth. A 1/4 inch. The little spears that were trying to come out were like frozen nubs. It basically means that those fields have to be mowed down. So there is the expense of the tractor, the mower, the man to go up and down and remove all the frozen asparagus because it basically turns to mush. Yeah, it takes about a week before they make their presence known again, and to the point of where they can be picked.
Right.
Because we're picking asparagus when it's 8 to 10 inches out of the ground, and that takes time.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have several plots here, I believe 4 acres in total of growing area for asparagus. Now, how many plants does that roughly represent?
There's about 10,000 crowns that we planted per acre.
Okay.
Over the years, we have some frost damage where we've got some spots that are a little sparser. However, that being said, as the plants are establishing themselves, they will branch out. So over the years, the rows get wider and wider. So although we started with 10,000 crowns per acre and, through some loss, I think we're over and above that number now. So
Oh, wow,
that
okay.
means for a lot of little spears per year.
A lot of little spears per year.
Mm-hmm.
So when the frost happened, unfortunately, I think you'd mentioned more than 3/4 of your crop in that particular event were lost, I think, right?
Yes, 3/4 of our fields were hard frozen, like a write-off.
Right.
Which meant the only field that survived is our oldest field here, and primarily because it's the field that's the closest to the river.
Okay.
So there's the water effect that probably like swirls the air around just enough so that the frost does not come, and it's also very well sheltered. We have trees on 3 sides, almost 4 sides of it. So that one was insulated.
Right.
The others are more open, and they didn't fare so well.
So Michelle, what did that mean for your source of income when it means you have such a short window when you lose your first crop like that?
It hurts.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's a big blow. A week's worth of picking is substantial. My restaurants, my farmers market, our regular customers, we just can't supply. That's a hard hit for us, like in the thousands and thousands of dollars. It's just like basically poof, evaporated. And we don't get that back. The season doesn't extend itself just because it has a frost.
Right.
The season is what the season is, and sometimes it's even shorter if the weather gets hot fast. So this year, it's kind of like a double whammy for us. We had actually a triple threat. Slow spring, didn't start as fast as it normally starts. A heavy frost, so once it had started, it just got kicked again. And now let's kick it some more with the heat.
Unfortunately, too, with a crop like asparagus, you're not covered with crop insurance, if I heard you correctly, too. There's no support program if something like that happens to you, generally.
Nothing.
Okay.
There is nothing. Over the years, I've inquired every year, are we covered through crop insurance this year? How about asparagus? Have you considered putting us into your horticultural? No, they don't. There's so few asparagus growers in Manitoba that I guess that it's not worth their while to change their their program
Okay.
to include us, which is a shame because it's an established perennial crop. And once it's here, it's such a long-lived, hardy crop for Manitoba. What can affect us is the weather. And all the other crops are covered for weather events, hail, drought, and we are not. Our losses are completely absorbed by our farm, and which is substantially less income. That has to last us the whole year because the short season, we can't. It's fresh asparagus. It doesn't store like grain does in a granary that you can, portion out when you need to pay bills and sell. No, it's sold now. That's pretty special when you can buy local grown Manitoba products. Yeah, it's great.
Pleasure meeting you, Michelle. Thanks
You
for
as
showing me your
well.
farm.
You're welcome.
Okay.
My pleasure.